Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ciro Cardoso, and I am very excited by the opportunity to be your instructor for this Rebel Way course, Python for Houdini artists. And I know what you might be thinking right now. Houdini is already something very complex. Isn't adding Python just an unnecessary layer of difficulty? Well, I am quite sure that while working with Houdini, you have come across with a task where you ask something like, isn't there a tool to do this? Is there a way I can avoid doing this repetitive task manually? As yourself, I'm an artist, our time is valuable, and we shouldn't spend it on manual labor when a smarter solution exists. And this is where Python comes in. Learning to code will help you to become more efficient, create powerful custom tools, and be an even more valuable member of your team. But perhaps you feel this isn't for you because at the first glance, programming can seem something very complex. You may not even know where to start. Or maybe you already have some coding knowledge, perhaps even some Python, but you are unsure how to apply it effectively within Houdini. Now, let me assure you that I have designed this course with exactly those challenges in mind. My goal is to give you the resources, the tools, and the knowledge for you to create your own solutions and elevate your skills as an artist. And for that, we're going to focus on practical tools based on real world production scenarios I've faced over the years. If you don't have any coding knowledge, then Python is the perfect language to begin with. It is super user-friendly, it is widely supported by software that a lot of us use, like Mari, Substance, Maya, Nuke, Blender. So that means that the knowledge you are going to get with this course not only is going to help you with Houdini, but it also is going to give you the foundations for you to start producing tools for these softwares as well. Now, the course is structured to build your skills progressively. We're going to start with Python fundamentals by creating some very simple yet useful tools to get you coding immediately. From there, we're going to move in some more advanced topics like creating complex material libraries. We're going to work with HDAs. We're going to design some interactive tools using Python view states. And then by the end of this course, we're going to grab everything we learned and we're going to create a series of very powerful tools to work with Solaris. So now let me give you a very brief overview of the things we're going to learn in these 10 weeks. And like I mentioned before, if you don't have any coding knowledge, if you don't know anything about Python, that's not going to be a problem because on week 1 and 2, we are going to have the Python Essentials. It's going to help you to introduce you to Python and to some coding aspects that you need to know. And to introduce you to these concepts and to the Houdini Python model, on week number 1, we will code 2 simple practical tools together. So the first one is the batch importer. So basically, we're going to select a bunch of assets in a folder, and in one go, we're going to bring those into Houdini. And then the second tool is a geometry splitter based on attributes. So for example, you have an asset, you have an attribute like name, and you want to use that attribute to split your geometry into smaller pieces. So this is what we are going to do. And as you can see, right on week number 1, I want you to get your hands dirty. I want you to see that even with a very limited knowledge, you can create some really cool stuff that can help you from week number 1. Then week number 2, we carry on with our introduction to Python, and we're going to dive into more complex topics like object-oriented programming. This is going to be things like working with classes, with models, with functions. I know this sounds super abstract. Don't worry, because I'm going to provide some practical examples to help you to understand these concepts. Now, one thing that I also want to introduce you on this week is a very powerful tool called Qt Designer. And this is a tool that we're going to use quite a lot to create user interfaces for your tools. Then finally, on week number 2, we are going to build a utility to quickly reload package models, the scripts, the shelves we're going to create throughout this course. This is something quite important because if you make a change to a model or to a script, and if you want to see that change, instead of having to close Houdini and open Houdini, we're going to use this tool to reload those changes. Then we move to week number 3. So on this week, we're going to start interacting with our operating system. And I want to introduce you to essential Python models, the OS and the JSON model, precisely to do that. Now, to put this in practice, we are going to start creating what I call like a mini pipeline. We're going to create the first tool, which is a project creator. This is a tool that is going to create our project, but also establish the folders we're going to create, what is the project code, what is the frames per second we're going to use. And then one very important thing I'm going to cover and is essential while coding is learning to debug and solve any issues that you are going to find. Because trust me, while you're coding, a lot of the time is trying to figure out why something is not working. This is going to lay the foundation so that when things start to get more complex, you are able to solve and debug any issues that you might find. Then on week number 4, we are going to reinforce everything we learned by developing a second key pipeline tool, a project manager. As the name suggests, we are going to use this tool to manage the projects that we create, to do things like enable, disabling the project, deleting the project as well. We're also going to see how to create scenes, delete those scenes, to list the files that we have in a folder. So it's going to be a very practical week as well. Then on week number 5, we start by introduce you to PySide 2. On week number 2, I show you the tool, Qt Designer. On week number 5, I wanted to show you the codes that create those using interface. Then we'll explore how to make our scripts talk to each other. We have the project creator, we have the project manager, and then we're going to create a tool to save the files. It's going to be a very smart tool. It's going to realize the version you're using and where you're saving things, but I want to show you how you can make these tools talk to each other. This is a very key aspect when you're creating a more complex pipeline. And then finally, for any FX artists, we are going to create a scene scanner that's going to find, list, and help managing all the caches that we have in our Houdini scene. Week number 6 and 7, they go together. This is where we're going to build our most complex tool. We'll focus on creating a material manager that is going to read a folder of textures, and then using regular expressions, automatically is going to generate material X shaders. We'll see how to import this into SOPs, into LOPs. We also explore Python's multiprocessing capabilities to optimize this tool's performance. These 2 weeks are going to be very code heavy, but I will guide you through the entire process and explain step by step what we'll be doing. Week number 8, we'll dive into working with HDAs. We'll learn about the parm template group and the parm template classes. These are very important to procedural creating and deleting parameters, and then we'll apply this knowledge to create an HDA tool. It's going to manage all the cameras in a scene, allow us to list all those cameras, combine them into a Uber camera if you want to, and then submitting each one to a render queue. Week number 9, we're going to dive in one of the coolest things that you can do with Python in Houdini, using Python view states. This allows you to create custom interactive handles and behaviors for your tools right in the viewport, making them incredibly intuitive. We'll explore how to control mouse buttons, how to use modifier keys, for example, the Control Alt Shift, and build a practical tool, a place light tool for SOPs, which is inspired by something that we have in Solaris. And then week number 10 is the final week. This is the combination of the course. This is where we bring everything together to build multiple tools for Solaris. And don't worry if you are new to Solaris, this will serve as a great introduction. We're going to create a series of tools to streamline the Solaris workflow, including preparing the assets for the component builder, managing the materials, creating utilities for look dev. For example, we're going to have the asset selected, and based on that asset, we'll automatically create a 3-point lighting system, and also an automating turntable render with the camera working. Well, as you can see, while we're not going to cover every single aspect of Python or the Houdini Python model, this course provides a wealth of practical examples to make you feel comfortable and confident working with Python in Houdini. We'll start with the basics, and we're going to increase the complexity each week. The primary goal is to give you a solid foundation so you can start building your own tools. And by the end of this course, I want to show you that coding with Python is not only achievable, but also fun. And trust me, there's nothing more mind-blowing when you create your first tool and it works, and it just feels that nothing can stop you now. So I hope you are as excited as I am, and let's get started.